Hello, Virus family, back again with another interview. This time with Psych and Blush, and
Yeah,
we're just gonna get straight into it. So, the first question is, what's your favorite fast food restaurant?
you go first, Kate. I'll go second.
No, because if I do, you're gonna say something.
No, just go, just go. Wait, I'll be.
I like KFC, dude.
For me,
See, he's laughing, bro.
for me, it would have to be Zaxby's. Like, I enjoy some nice ass
oh.
Zaxby's. But
No, what do you
that's to this
enjoy
far.
from there though?
Next question.
No.
That was actually gonna be my next question.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
What's
Yeah,
what's your order from Zaxby's?
I get the 6-piece chicken tender. Like, I never really get it in sauce, but I get the 6-piece chicken tender with the fries. You know, a nice fruit punch icy, and then I get the wimpy sauce because like I like spice, but like there's something about the wimpy sauce that have this like tang and like bitterness to it that just sits real nice in my stomach.
Do you like the tater chips from there?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're fine. What do you get from KFC? It's like
Oh, I just get a sandwich.
a sandwich. What, like a burger
Yeah.
or like an actual
Yeah,
sandwich?
yeah. Like a
chicken
burger.
tender.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So shit.
Okay, so we're gonna go from the start, and I want to know how old you are and where you grew up.
I'm turning 18 in 2 days, but I grew up in Toronto most of the time.
I'm 18 right now, but I grew up in New Jersey, but I live in Florida right now. So I've like had half and half throughout my life. But I would say mainly New Jersey is where I grew up.
So, what was it like growing up there? Because they're pretty different places.
Um, I would say Florida is like really, it can be nice. It just all depends on like where you live. New Jersey, I can't really put an opinion on New Jersey because I feel like there's not really just one experience there. Like, there's multiple experiences in Jersey. Like, when you go to any other state, I feel like everybody has, like, you know, similar experiences, but Jersey is, like, such a weird state that you don't have those type of things. At least similar. But it's not too bad unless you live in Newark, then you're fucked. But yeah.
Yeah. Do you live well? When you was in New Jersey, did you live close to New York, like on that side?
Not New York. It's called Newark. That's what we
Uh,
call it. It's like kind of in the middle, like near New York, but it's
Wait,
like the back part in New Jersey.
that's where the airport is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one of the worst parts in Jersey.
Uh,
But I would say like it's very like when I was over there as a little kid, I would say it was very a little bit stressful because you never know what's gonna happen. Like places like that, but not really that bad. I never had a bad experience with Jersey. It was just always cold. That's all.
that's good. What about Toronto? It's like,
What part of like, what are you asking about it? was,
like just what was it like growing up there?
It was really shitty. Like, everyone's annoying and weird, and everyone expected for like everyone to act like one thing. So if you're like out of that, then everyone just treats you weird. So like mostly, growing up here, like just didn't have a lot of friends or anything. So just be here. I don't know. Dog
So
outside my door.
this is a question I have for all people from Toronto or Canada, especially if you're from Toronto. What's your opinion on the Six God Drake?
I will be signed to OVO in a matter of months. I'm being genuine.
I mean, I would I would
I would-
love to see that.
I think me and Blush would fit well in OVO.
Yeah. Modeling the OVO sweats and stuff.
Yeah, you already know, bro. We make a song with Smiley. It'd be so fire.
Yeah. So when did you start making music?
I started in 2019 in the trap metal scene. I was brought into music by Spider Gang. I don't talk to them a lot now, but like that's how I came into SoundCloud, was through Edison and small artists like the time I was talking to like Deceased, which is like a trap metal guy, and Drown with Toga and like Lee. They brought me into like this shit because me and Lee came from like Spider Gang side type shit like together.
So what made you transition from that into the style you make now?
So one day in this old server that I used to own called the Gulag, my friend Toga, Drown Toga, showed me a David Shoddy song and a Youngster Jack song before like everything, and like I was like, oh, this shit hard, and then instead of making trap metal shit, I tried to make more melodic stuff, and then it kind of just turned into this sound, but like through months over. Because when I first started making this kind of stuff, you have it on your post on your page. I used to make like straight up Roblox core, and then I was like, for a second I was a Death Connie clone for like a month, and then I just turned into this.
So what about you, Blush? When did you start making music?
I was doing vocals a long time ago in 2018. I was on BandLab and shit, just making fucking X-Clone music just for fun. I didn't see anything of it, and then I kind of stopped around 2019. And but for the producing stuff, I started last year, in 2021. I think January 4th or 3rd, I started, and it was because like I loved music so much that like I wanted to be involved in it in some way, and I felt like producing was the only shot I had. So I picked up my old laptop before I got a new one, and I was just I downloaded FL, and I started practicing, looking at tutorials, drum kits and shit. And, I wasn't making the stuff I make now. I was obviously ass. And I think that meeting Psych kind of impacted my sound.
So when you stopped
And,
doing... Sorry, carry on, sorry.
What'd you say?
Oh, I thought, was you done with what you were saying?
Nah, you asked your question. My fault for cutting you off.
Oh no, my bad. I was just gonna say, when you stopped doing like the, as you said, like X-type vocals, and then
Yeah.
you started producing like last year,
Yeah.
in between that time, was you not making any music at all?
No, I wasn't making anything because I was going through some stuff with like school and behavioral programs and stuff that led me. I wasn't able to make music. I started making beats because I was trying to get money, be involved, and just somehow have a talent. And I think that's really it. Like I just started last year. I was doing my thing, and yeah.
So when you started making beats, what made you go to beats instead of being like, oh, I'm gonna just do vocals again?
Well, because when I was listening to like clips, like beat clips, like SG37, KG4, Shoddy era. I was listening to old 4AM clips, Fun Friend, Shinjin, Vince. Like I was listening to a lot of people in this community, like Machne, Bug, all of them for years on end, and that's kind of what made me want to do it. But one day I was like on Shigatori's track train, and I heard this one beat with I think it was either Okifi or Nay, and I just wanted to make beats after I heard that beat. Like ever since then.
That's pretty far actually. Who would you say your biggest inspirations was when you started getting into the
Producing? Or just music in general?
I'll say music in general because you kind of just answered that with the producers.
I would say if we're talking about vocalists, I'd say the only person that really inspires me out of this community vocally is either ugly or fucking ugly or Kuru or no Kiriana, ugly or Kiriana for sure. And I kind of explained to all the producers already, so just skip that one.
Yeah. What about you,
But,
Psych?
Vocally, or just musically in general?
Musically in general.
Just like I'd say yeah, ugly a whole lot, and Psycho especially, and then just like beats alone, like, cause like melody and like shit plays a lot into like how I sing. So like Blush's beats and TG Wug beats really helped me a lot with forming how I am now musically.
So, when would you say, for example, Blush, you said about you was listening to like their clips on SoundCloud and stuff, but
yeah.
when did you actually get introduced to actually being in the scene? Because it's one thing like listening to them, but like,
I would say so. A long time ago, I already knew Shigetori around the time, so that's kind of the person that kind of walked my foot into the door a little bit. But I think I was in the NOVAGANG server a long time ago, and I met Midwest. And me and Midwest made some shit, like we made some bullshit songs, and I think from there on in, I met people along the way, and then I met Sholo, and then we had a server called Gorilla Squad, and that's when I met Waze and I met everybody else. But I've been around since 2019. I just never knew anybody. Like I was around for the Loser Club era and shit, like watching it all unfold. But I was never around those people. I was more so a fan.
So what about you, Psych?
I'll repeat the question. Sorry, I have to get my dog.
So when was you like introduced actually to getting into the scene?
So it was through Rab mostly. So when me and my friend were making, me and Lee were making Roblox Core, Lee made this one song that got Rab's attention, and me, Lee, and Rab became friends, and we made this thing called like Family Life, and I'd say that whole time period of my life being in that collective probably kind of sealed me here type shit.
That's pretty interesting actually.
Yeah.
Who would you say in the scene that you would like to work with who you haven't yet?
Ugly.
What about you,
I'd
Blush?
say ugly as well. Either ugly or Kiriana, but I think the Kiriana one is coming up. But ugly, I would for sure want to work with ugly. One of my favorite artists right now.
Yeah, I can hear that already in my head for sure. So which how many collectives are you in, and which collectives are you in?
I'm in Silly Team, Euphoria, and Us. I own all. Oh yeah,
I'm
Suki
just-
City. I own Suki City.
I'm just in NOVAGANG. No other collectives at the moment. Just
Yes.
Nova.
So how did you originally get into Nova?
So Problem asked me a while ago if I wanted to join, because I've known Problem like a while ago from last year, because I met through Waze and stuff, and through the co-op server, because it was a whole private server that we were in, and some situation happened where the server had to get deleted, but that's when I met Problem, and from there on in, me and Problem were cool, and they watched me grow as a producer, and then one day they asked, like, did I want to join? And at first I said no, because I felt like I wasn't ready for that, so I gave it a little bit, and I pondered upon it. And then the opportunity came up again, and I said yes. And after that, I joined Nova, and yeah, that's basically it. It's nothing like special.
That's actually I respect that a lot that you said no originally because you didn't feel like you was ready for it. That's pretty fire. For you, Psych, ooh, so you're in four collectives. You said.
4. I own 1 and I'm in 3.
What would you say the reason is for that?
Every single collective that I'm in, whether I own it or not, has my friends in it. Like every member is my friends, so that's why I joined them, really. And I have a pretty good work ethic. Let's say I think Kari can agree. So I can manage being in 4 at once.
That's fair. That's fair. What would you say? This is for both of you. What would you say the importance is for being in a collective, if there is any?
As long as your friends are in it, who cares?
For me, I feel like the thing with collectives, I feel like they shouldn't be based on like a business standpoint, because all the biggest collectives are made because it was a friend group. NOVAGANG was a friend group. Bloodhounds was a friend group. 7S friend group. Like all those people knew each other before they even made those collectives. They made them solely because they were friends and they came up together. So I feel like with collectives, the importance is making sure that there's no issues between the collective. But that's the first thing of how a collective falls. So it's based on friendship.
Would you say that someone starting out needs to be in a collective or nah?
No.
At all.
I think Nick gave a pretty good answer. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, you don't need to join a collective at all.
No one needs to. You don't have to be a collective when you're big either. A collective is all optional because it doesn't do anything for you.
Okay, so are you signed? Would you sign? What's your opinions on signing?
Okay. So I have a like whole philosophy for signing and shit. I feel like with signing, you don't need it unless you feel more so that you need some type of guidance that will help you along the way with like your career. But I feel like if you know what you're doing and you study how to promote yourself, how to make connections, how to get yourself somehow on a playlist, anything independently, then go ahead for it. Because with signing, it's like you don't own most of that money. Like most of it is given to you like as funding for your career that you have to pay back for it. So I feel like if you're not getting your own money for all the talent that you're putting out in the world, I feel like it's such a useless like thing. But everybody has a different perception on it, so it's just my opinion.
So I'm gonna assume that you wouldn't sign.
Yeah, basically, I wouldn't sign.
What about you, Psych?
I like paper. I sign.
Just straight up, that's.
Yup. Yup. As long as I can make whatever I want and I can work with people still that I want to, yeah, I don't care. By paper, I didn't mean money. I mean like I like to sign papers. It's fun. So yeah, we'll do that.
What about management? Do you want management? Do you have management? Would you get management?
My Spotify is managed, but nothing else really. I do want when I'm bigger, I do want social media to be managed probably.
I feel like I can't really do that because like I'm a producer. It's a very different concept than an artist. Like I just send beats out and I get paid for them. So I feel like I don't need a management to like handle my shit because I'm not really there to make connections or anything. I'm really there to like make myself the connection. So I feel like I don't need a management type shit.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's always interesting. So I feel like everyone has a different answer for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
The reason. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
The reason I think having a manager is good for me for Spotify is because pitching songs is really hard for me. So I have a person who does it for me, and who like schedules my drops and stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty smart actually. So the question that everyone wants to know: what's your opinions on hyperpop? How do you feel about it?
We make R&B, so it don't matter.
Uh,
Like the term's
hyperpop.
stupid as fuck.
I feel like okay. I feel. Oh shit. I feel like
Careful with the
with
words you
hyper.
card.
I feel like with hyperpop, it's cool if you want to make it, but in my opinion, I feel like it's very saturated at the point to where like it's lost all of its touch that everyone was trying to make like different and unique from like standard pop. It fell back into the pop category, and now there's like really no hyperpop. It's just
It's just
people
pop.
making the same thing as others have been doing for years.
Like, bruh,
So
I get so pissed when someone will hear me and Blush's like a straight R&B song about like sex or something. They're like, "Damn, this is some crazy hyper pop." I'm like, "What the fuck? What are you talking about, bro? I'm talking about, like, bro. This is not hyper pop." Like, yeah, okay. I have a different opinion from Blush. Like, yeah, the sound is saturated. I think some people do it right still to make it, and I think it's fine, I guess, to use it as an umbrella term for like that kind of sound. But I just don't like people calling me it. It doesn't make me angry, but it just makes me confused because I'm like, I don't make it's R&B, dude. Like, I'm so confused, bro. Like, I don't know. Digicore's fine, I guess. That word's cool. Or like there's like a word for it. I forgot. Like electro funk or something. I forgot. Is that like three different genre? That's fine, I guess.
So Blush, if someone says like, "Oh, you make hyperpop," how do you feel about that?
I really just ignore it. I act like I don't hear it most of the time or haven't seen it. So like it's like a blacklisted word that I just cannot see. I act like it doesn't exist for good reasons.
Yeah.
So let's say if someone asks you what music you make, are you saying R&B?
Well, I don't make just plug and B and R&B. I make like different stuff. Like I make EDM, I make grunge, I make like whatever the fuck I want to make. It's just more so how I feel. Psych, I would say, it's R&B or plug and B, like whichever you hear. But I also have like my own shit, like where I take pianos and I sound design them to make it sound more spacey. I try to like mess with that sound as intricate as possible because I feel like that sound also, like the plug sound, the R&B sound has been also saturated because so many people doing it or at least attempting to make it. So I would just tell them I make beats. Like I just say I make beats, so I produce. I never label myself as a genre because that's what makes you get caught up with everyone else, and you don't ever go up putting a label on yourself.
So you mentioned it there about plug and B. What's your opinions on plug and B right now?
So I think there's people in this community that do it well, like Wavy Pang, Safe State, Waifu. Like I feel like all those like 7 Serene pods in this community do it right. But I think when it comes to general plug and B, I feel like it's in its worst right now because everyone's making whatever pops off. Like everyone's taking a melody and they'll make like a completely different melody and put plug drums on it and try to label it. Like
I
I
think
feel like emo plug is cool though.
emo plug and dark plug are cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fire. But like
But-
you wanna go?
The thing with dark plug is like I feel like it's already been done by like people in Surreal, like Alto and Rob Surreal. Like I feel like they've already had that wave happen way before people like Goemon and stuff were doing it. Respect to them because they're talented producers. It's just more so like you have to give flowers to the OGs. Like in my beats, my plug beats, sometimes I'll use like melody patterns like Zan Gang and shit, like the saxophone. Like I love using that 3 saxophone pattern because it gives flowers to the OGs that like started it all, like Coriolingo, Zan Gang, all the people in beat plugs, all those people.
Hi Nova.
Uh,
Yo.
yeah.
Hello.
So
I
I
was
feel
gonna
like
say-
it's in its worst. the moment. Another thing before like we wrap up into the next question, I feel like people need to stop. They need to put down purity at least just a little bit. Start using different plugins. Like even Xenology is better. Like purity is cool sometimes, but all the sounds are synthesizer sounds, and they just don't sound right now because it's been so gentrified. So I feel like people should start using different plugins and shit to make their plugin do.
That's actually a good segue into my next question, because the next question I have down is, what is your like creative process like? Because I can imagine it's very different between both of you, as seen as like you're mainly a producer and Psych's mainly a
Like-
vocalist.
Recording process?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ask Blush first because I have something to show you.
Okay.
I would say for me, I wake up, brush my teeth, do all that shit. Like I get dressed, work out, come back home, and when I get back home and I feel, right in the head, because there's days where I feel like I can't make a beat because I got some shit going on with me, but I sit down, open FL. The first thing I do is I'll have SoundCloud in the back, just listening to songs like in my likes for reference, and I start out with the bass line. Bass line is what you always need to support your melody. I make the mel. I sound design most of the stuff I make, so I'll sit there and do some like unique shit. And once I have the mel, I start with the drums, do the 808s, everything. Once I have that done, I level, gain stage, and master it, which isn't really taking any time. It probably takes like 2 minutes. And then I structure it, but the way I structure it, I never put like any unique parts. I put like maybe a simple structure, and I put parts where it's like repeating, because there's got to be a rhythm to the whole beat, so where the artist can repeat themselves in times and it's not throwing them off. And then I put my transition sound effects and I export it, and I don't really usually send them out first day. I just keep them there and stack beats, get placements, type shit.
So I don't really know much about producing, but what would you say from the start of that to the beat is complete? How long on average would you say that takes you?
If I'm making a beat I've like made before, like if I'm doing a genre I've made before, it'll probably take like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. But if I'm experimenting like with EDM and shit, that usually takes like an hour and 30, because EDM is like very complicated. Well, it's not very, but the stuff I'm trying to attempt at is some shit I'm trying to break out of. Like I'm trying to break out of a barrier. So I feel like that takes me an hour 30 when I get more experimental. But usual beats only take me 30, 40 minutes. So.
And when you're making those beats, do you have someone in mind while you're making it, before you're making it, when it's finished?
Usually, well, because I listen to reference. So like it depends on who I'm listening to, but if I'm not going off reference, not really. And I usually don't have it. Like I'll have someone in mind, and then I'll make the beat, and then I'll be like, wait, I want this person on it because it sounds more to them than to what I had in mind before. So it usually changes.
Yeah, that's fair enough. What about you, Psych? What would you say your recording process is like?
So I will get up, I will text Karari good morning, and then I drink tea, like green tea, and then I'll just like go through whoever sent me beats and go from there. When it comes to recording, I used to do probably about 20 to 30 layers per thing, but I lowered it down to, let's say, 10 to 17 layers per thing.
Damn.
And like, I don't know, I usually wait to for friends to be in VC, because I record better when there's pressure and when people are watching me, because I know that if I fuck up then everyone's gonna laugh at me. So like I record better under pressure, so I'll wait till I usually record in front of Nova, Karari, and our friend Sammy. And like yeah, I don't know. I can show you an FLP if you want. I pulled it up. This is if you want.
Yeah, do it.
This is me and Karari, Yugen, and Waifu's song with Braxton Knight. Fucking I'm leaving to Tokyo. This is the FLP for it. This is what it looks like. My part at least. It's like this is like all the layers.
God.
It's organized
like-
though.
Yeah, kinda. People will say that I'm. The funniest shit I've heard someone say is you're building a city or something like that out of layers because like it looks like towers or something. I don't know. But this is what a standard FLP would look like, and all this is like Braxton over here. So something else is there.
How long?
But yeah.
How long?
What?
How long would you say it took to make the songs you was doing with 30 layers, and then how long would you say it takes now?
With Eli? Wait, Braxton?
No, you said you used to record with like 30 layers, right? That's what you said.
Oh, 30 layers. Yeah.
Yeah.
When making songs with 30 layers, probably a whole song would take about 2 hours, 3 hours. That's without breaks. And then it'd be 2 hours probably now with 17, because I take a while to think sometimes, but I'm usually good to go, and then I'll be done. Like this EP that me and Karari put out. I'd say each song probably took about 2-3 hours. The fastest song that I made was the solo song that took about an hour 30. So pretty easy.
You said like you prefer to record in like a voice call.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I'm going off an assumption here that most artists in the scene don't record with that many layers. So do people? Does anyone be like clowning you or like joking about how many layers you record?
If it's no, but yeah. Like when I recorded in front of Bronclair one time, because Bronclair joined when I was recording the Open for Emotionals, I think. He was in the Geek Build server. He was asking how I do so many. He wasn't clowning, but everyone always asks. Like, Emotionals asks, Bronclair asks. Everyone always asks, or they'll be like Nova and be like, damn, why the fuck are there so many layers? Like, I don't know. It's either or.
What would you say the reason is for doing so many layers?
I just want it to sound like you're generally listening to like a choir. That's like my whole thing with it. Like it has to sound like you're listening to a choir or numerous people speaking at once. But I find like that was my original idea, but I find now that it just sounds like me, but like harmonized, so it doesn't sound like numerous people. But that was my original idea, but that's just I don't know.
And I'm guessing you engineer everything yourself?
No. I engineer most songs for myself, but if it's Prod, Blush, like the whole EP was engineered by Blush. The song with Dolly, my first song with Dolly was engineered by Blush, and then everything Prod Blush is engineered by Blush.
So I'll ask for both of you, where did you learn to be able to like mix and master?
I learned from my second collective I joined, Euphoria Club. My friend Idiot gave me her preset, and throughout the months of me having it, I tweaked it slowly to be my own instead of like just plain hers. So I'd say like I'm confidently can say like this is my preset now, but before it was just plain hers. Like when I made the song, I think "Wish We Were Friends," that was her preset, just plain, but now it's like tweaked fully. So mixing and mastering, I learned from Idiot and Blush. That's it.
I would say I learned from based on the beats I was making, because I never knew how to mix my beats properly, but over time my ears developed and I could hear differences in the volume. And once I learned how to gain stage and stuff and hear things in mono, because if you put everything in mono, that's where you can hear everything, how loud it is. Because when you export it, it exports in its real like volume. But when you have the project open, it sounds completely different. So that's the thing with mono. Everything has to be in mono for me to decide whether the vocals are too loud, the ad-libs are too loud. That's where I kind of find everything and meet it in the middle.
And do you both use FL?
Yeah.
Yep.
For you, Psych, do you mainly write or freestyle?
I've never written. I've only written one song, and it's nowhere to be found. Like after I written one, I kind of realized that I can't do it because if I write something, then I'm going to read it like how I read books, and I read books like a robot because I don't know, I'm weird or something. So I just go like, and the way that I record things is I need to like, so I'll record one bar and then the next one and the next one, next one in like seconds, or like I'll take a while to think of like one because like I don't know, my brain works weird.
And judging from that FLP you showed, you be punching everything in.
Everything's punched in.
So yeah, so you briefly mentioned it just there, but the next question I want to talk about the EP. So
Love Never Mattered.
yeah, so how did that come around?
Me and Kari were in VC, and Kari said, "Yo, we should make an EP." And I said, "Okay, but how many songs?" And he's like, 5. And I was like, "More reasonable." He's like, 4. And then we made an EP.
We basically were just talking. Like, I think me and Emotionals made some shit, and then I just wanted to make an EP because like I already had some shit with Emotionals and other people for their tapes and stuff, and I felt like why not just start making tapes with people? So Psych was the first person I wanted to put on a EP prod me because I was already working with them for quite a while, so I was like, fuck.
So yeah, so what was the thought process on 4 songs then? Because you briefly mentioned there. Why not 3? Why not 5? Why not?
Well, because I felt like we had one song which was the one with Mental. We already had that out, so an EP isn't really like a album or nothing. It's a project, like experimenting, reaching out to what you could do. So I feel like not too much, but not too little. So I kind of met it in the middle, and I was like, let's just add 3 songs to it with the song we already released because it was doing well. And I was like, let's make these 3 songs. I made the beats for them. I made like maybe 20 beats for this tape, and got to pick the beats they wanted, and we made them songs in probably a month. Yeah, a month.
Nice. So what made you choose the? What'd you say? Sorry.
Month and a half.
So the name, the Love Never Matters. What made you choose that?
Because like my whole aesthetic is like nothing really matters in the end. Like that, it's just a philosophy I have with everything. Like before you do something or you think or blame yourself, anything, like ask yourself, does it really matter? So I feel like we make music like love type music. So I feel like why not incorporate it with the does it really matter stuff. And we thought of a name in probably like 2 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
Love Never Mattered.
Did you
At first it was Love Never Matters, but we just said mattered.
Love Never Mattered. Yeah.
Did you have any other names that you thought of either before that or after that?
I
Just Love Never Matters.
I had some. I had some who like I had like a list, I think, that I had for myself. I don't think I showed it to Kari, but like there was like I think I had like a table for one was one of them, because my whole idea going into this, and you're gonna ask a question about the beat selection, right? Because I can answer this right now. My whole idea of this was to make it sound like a diner, like a ball, essentially, like as fancy as it can sound, like some shit that would play at like a restaurant that's really high end. So every single beat that Kari sent me, I would go through and I would close my eyes and I would imagine like if I was eating at like a crazy ass restaurant, would this be playing in the background? Or like if I was like alone at like a crazy ass restaurant and I was sad, would this make me how would this make me feel like type shit? It was made for also incorporating with the title. It was made for like people who are alone. Like in a sense where like people around you aren't. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I feel like people who get it get it.
Yeah. So so what about the features on the EP?
Basically, the original song for the one with Braxton, we were supposed to get Psycho on it instead of Dolly, but knowing Psycho, they don't record.
They don't
like
record
that.
a lot.
So Dolly just offered to hop on it and did their thing, and then with Emotionals, I sent him the open because me and Emotionals, like every time we make a song, it's crazy. So I was like, why not just get email on it? And the solo song, I felt like the solo song should have been solo because it was just that good. Probably my favorite song on that tape.
And for any of the songs, did you have the features in mind while you was making them or before you made them?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he did, and I did too. With the Braxton song, when I was making it as I was going, I was like, Braxton's gonna go crazy on this. The emotional one, I knew I was making it for emotional, so like I just kind of, I don't know.
Originally, I made the Braxton Psych and Dolly beat for Dada in Midwest. That beat was supposed to go to them, but like Dada and them, I feel like there was really no way to reach out to them to get them on a beat like that. I could have probably got Midwest on it, but I don't know Dada like that. So I sent it to Psycho. Psycho never did nothing with it, so Psych wanted it, and they got on the beat. After they got on the beat, I was like, this shit is crazy. Sent the open to Braxton, he recorded it, Dolly did their part, and then we went from there. Because that's the first song we kind of wanted to get out the way.
So I wanna, still on the topic of music,
Yeah.
I wanna ask about the new song with Dolly, the Freaking You.
Oh yeah.
What was it like making that, and how did that come around?
So, Kara has this. So we have this server called Geek Pilled. That's where all our friends are. No. Shout out Geek Build. They're like cool.
I'll basically explain it in short terms.
Yeah, it's alright. Fuck, I'm like stuttering up because I'm like tired. Kara put an open in the chat. I downloaded the open. I was like, it'd be really funny if I made a verse on it about like fucking. And I did that, and then what is it? Blush remixed the beat or whatever.
Yeah, I basically remixed the whole beat, and I was like, fuck it, we're just gonna drop it like this, and then the song just dropped. I was literally outside. I didn't even know it was gonna drop. It's like,
does that happen a lot in that server, that people just be like dropping stuff
they drop opens in the private channel sometimes, but not as much because like not a lot of people are making music right now because school and shit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I want to ask, what would you say crafted your sound? Because I think, like, compared to a lot of people in the scene, you stand out as kind of like being pretty unique. So where would you say that comes from? Both of you, to be honest, or when you collab at least.
Oh, well, when I don't collab with Karari, my sound comes from just like mostly my friends. So like Psycho, Love Lockdown 2504, like 5e, Idiot, those people. Like I take a little bit from everyone and then just make it into my own. And then when I collaborate with Karari, I'd say the person I take the most from when it comes to this is probably like some underground R&B Toronto people, and then Psycho, because Psycho made the whole inspiration for R&B came from when Psycho made an R&B song with Waifu called Pink. That's like how my first R&B song was made, with Waifu. a while ago.
And what about you, Blush?
I would say what really crafted my sound is like really being around everybody in 7S. Because like I always wanted to work with people like Nay and bugging them, and then I met Yugen a while ago, and I was cool with Yugen and Waifu for like a while, and Yugen invited me to the server that was private, and I met Bug, Machne, basically almost everyone in 7S, and then from there on in, I met Bug, put me in this collective, and then I met more people like SG Lily and all them, and I'd say like working with all them and having those little intricate like those little minor experiences with them, like working with them, kind of just forms my own thing because I take the inspiration but I make it into my own. And I'd say a lot of like studying sound design, like I study most of the main presets that like producers like Pierre or something will use, like very standoutish type of presets out of like Electra X or something, and like I'll just study how they work and just sound design them to sound different, trying to do everything little as possible. Like I don't really know how to explain it. Just like I just love sound designing everything I make.
Yeah, well, I think
I'd say taking the time and doing that kind of just makes it even more standoutish.
yeah, I think it shows. I think you both stand out as like being very unique. But I want to ask about your names. So what made you choose your names, and for you, Blush, what made you change your previous names?
I like Blush go first because mine's a story.
So, like, I started with my real name, which was Karari, but I never really wanted to go by that because, like, why go by my real name? So I was like, Fables. But, like, I had Fables in mind, but then there was a day I just realized, like, Fables doesn't fit me. Like, because I have this, like, Fables. Like, when you think of that name, you think of, like, dark or, like old-timey type shit. And that's the beats I wasn't making. But when you hear Blush, you think of like, happy or like any type of beat. Like it's all around like something that is universal. So I was like, okay, like no one else is using Blush. Like, why not? Why don't I use that name and just go from there? Because I changed my name throughout the years so many times. And I feel like this name is the most comfortable. I feel the most comfortable with. So it's like, fuck it.
What about you, Psych?
For me, when I first started making music, like last year, 2 years ago, yeah, like 2020, 2019, I'm gonna buy a longer version of my name, which is like, it was like some stupid ass name. I don't want to say it.
you don't.
And like, I'm pretty sure you know it because I think you uploaded a song for My Name Was That. Oh, you probably don't, but I don't know. And I didn't relate to it at all. And I was in a call with Generic Flipper, Lee, Janaskis, and Ed. And me and Janaskis were watching videos, and then Janaskis I was acting really, my mind wasn't where I wanted it to be at that point because I was like, I don't know, I was having issues personally, and I was acting stupid. And then Janaskis asked me like, why are you psyching yourself out, like twice. And then I was like, I don't know. And like I sat down and I thought about it, and I was like, maybe like the reason why I I'm so out of place in like so many social places, like school and shit, and like I act so weird, is because like me, like I'm psyching myself out. I'm like fucking, like I don't know, I don't know, I just like a fuck up myself type shit. So I changed my name just like the day after.
Well, it was that quick of a realization. You was like, that's the one.
No, I sat down for like an hour, like listening to like some blues album, and I woke up the next morning and I called Ed and Lee, and I was like, it's like summer 2020, and I was like, what if I change my name? I only had like 50 followers at that point, so like Lee was like, it does not matter, so I changed it, and then I don't know, it's stuck since then. I went by 888 Psych for like probably like a month, and then I was like Psych.
Yeah, I remember that actually.
Yeah.
I always love how everyone else loves hearing people's story of their names, because everyone's story is so different. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Some people will be like, yeah, I went to it's like McDonald's, and some guy like actually mispronounced my name. That's my name.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what do you both do in your spare time when you're not making music?
I just do a lot of meditating. Talk to my girlfriend, I guess, and I don't know. I like makeup, and I talk to Kari. That's it.
For me, I go to college for computer or cybersecurity, and work out, school, maybe play like sports, because like I live near a park and stuff, so like I just go out to the park, and I usually just like fucking walk around. Like I try to get as much fresh air as I can, because like being in the house just making beats all day, like sometimes it gets exhausting. Believe it or not, like you're just sitting there looking at a computer screen for hours on end. And if I'm not doing that, I'm probably playing like Kingdom Hearts or on my Switch, or fucking
Yeah.
playing Final Fantasy.
Kingdom Hearts is fire.
Or Animal Crossing as well. Shout out Animal Crossing.
Do you play any video games, Psych?
Yeah, I play a lot of Kingdom Hearts and Sonic games. A whole lot of Sonic games. Like I download like a Sonic fan game like 2 times a month, and I'll finish it. And just some horror games. I'm just really into platformers and like games you'd probably like expect like little kids to play, like, or like Zelda and Pokemon. Like I'm a big Nintendo person. I'm not really much for PC games. I guess I play like some FPS shooters, or just shooters, I guess. I don't know. Nothing really. Just mostly Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts like plays a lot into music as well. Probably for both of us. It the story and shit affects the way like my lyricism comes out.
That actually makes a lot of sense now you say that, actually. Yeah. I feel like
you hear me in songs a lot mention something about a key. I say that probably like once every 2 songs. I talk about a key or Kyrie or like falling into darkness. It all comes from like, because I think Kingdom Hearts, this is gonna sound stupid, but I think Kingdom Hearts honestly is a representation of how you're supposed to live. Like you're supposed to love each other and like never like let the quote unquote darkness like take you, because then you'll lose everyone type shit. You'll like fall into like this dark void and become like an imp, like shadow of the person you once were. For real. I don't know. Like, you don't want to be a nobody.
That's pretty deep, but yeah, I agree. Yeah, so what are your plans for 2022? You could be another EP, album, music videos.
I have a music video I'm probably gonna shoot like this weekend probably, and then I'm gonna send it to this editor named Gibby. He's really good. And I have a show, I think, in this summer somewhere. I can't say yet because they're still figuring it out. And I do want to do another EP or album May or somewhere in the summer. But that will probably be majority solos, and then probably the only feature will be Psyche or Kuru. I really want to work with Kuru. I should have said that. I don't have any, never did anything with Kuru yet, but I do want to work with Kuru really badly.
And the song that you're shooting the video for, is that song released or is it unreleased?
Yeah. I'm gonna shoot a video for the solo song on the tape.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Which is fucking it's not I Left Your Keys on Your Bed. I forgot what it's called.
I think
it's called We Were on the Phone.
Yeah, We Were on the Phone. I'm gonna shoot something for We Were on the Phone, and I'm probably gonna shoot something for me and Psycheo's video. I really want to do like my part because that song is just too good.
For me, so the first thing I gotta do, because I haven't dropped in like 4 months, like it's so bad. but I'm
offering
dropping.
to let you put something
I,
on your page with me.
I should be dropping clips this month, and then after that, I'll probably drop like an EP with some placements I have. Maybe it'll probably be like people like Kuru, Jolly, just friends, people I fuck with. And after that, I'm making an EP, like a solo EDM EP, but it's like it has a huge twist on it, which is why I've been working on it for so long. And after that, I don't really know where I want to go. I just want to get more placements and like come up with my friends and perform, like, or at least be there for performances, which I should be. So big
And,
plans.
and
I really want to meet, like, I think one of my biggest goals that like has nothing to do with music is I do want to meet more friends. I have to. I was supposed to go to Florida in this like Christmas or something, so I wanted to meet Karari, but that didn't happen.
so
But
so I'm
I want
guessing
to do that.
you haven't met yet, both of you.
No, not yet.
No.
Okay. So I mean, you might be able to answer this, you might not. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Shit.
I really just want to become like. I do want to keep making different kind of music, but the main goal right now, and I tell this to Kari like almost like probably like twice a week, is I do want to become like a mainstream R&B like artist. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm shooting for. So like hopefully, like just
For
making
me,
R&B.
I'm trying to be like influential. Like I feel like I'll be influential. Maybe like you know you know how like Zilla Kami is, like how he has that growth, but he's not in the mainstream. Like he's not in the industry. Like I kind of want to be there, but as a producer, like I want to be low key. But I feel like I'll have my money up and shit, and I'll just be sitting there chilling for the rest of my life until I fall out or fall off.
Then I'll walk into the room and I'll say, "Hi, Kari. Remember that one time Virus asked us 5 years ago that one question?"
Yeah. So is there anything else you want to say, or anyone you want to shout out?
Yeah.
Oh boy, I have a lot of people. Shout out Waze, shout out Waifu, shout out Yugen. I got a list actually. Shout out Kiriano, shout out 177P, shout out Psych. You know they're right here with me. Shout out Blissy,
Hey,
shout
that's
out Mental.
hey, I'm like,
Shout
whoa.
out Problem. Shout out Steph. Shout out Machne, Dalton, Bloodbug, JD, Scarlet, Joai, Crage, Shigatori, Emotionals, Kuru, Winter, Miso. I love you, Miso. Sad Boy, Karai. Shout out 7S. Shout out Nova. Shout out So Evil Boys. Shout out everybody, bro. Like just shout out. That's it.
That's some
Uh,
list.
do I go
I
now?
could have gone for an hour.
Yeah, go for it.
Bro. Okay. Shout out Novastan. Nah, fuck him. Joking. Shout out Samara. Shout out Blush. Hi Blush. Hi.
Hello.
Shout out Drown Toga. Shout out Gibby. Shout out all of Euphoria Club, mostly Idiot. Shout out Memory. She's really good at music. Shout out Psycho. And shout out Kara.
Oh, and one more thing. Shout out Z and shout out Death95K.
And Sammy. And Sammy.
And Sammy.
That's the GOAT right there.
But shout out
yeah.
Death95K. That is the greatest artist and producer in this community ever. I want, if someone gets to this part of the interview, I want you to look up. No, Death95K.
No. Did you say waifu though?
Yeah.
That's okay. That's a go. That's a go right there.
Yeah.
Shout out waifu.
So Capo and Nova, do you have any questions?
Nova's gone.
Usually, what I usually ask everybody, like, what are some artists that y'all been listening to that y'all like to shout out? Like not, I wouldn't say like you already shouted out like people that y'all like fuck with as like friends, but anybody like that y'all don't know that y'all like been.
Stalking, Lost State.
Shout out Ugly. Shout out Safe State. Shout out Era. Shout out KG4. He's probably not even making music nowadays, but influenced the hell out of me. Shout out Vinso, godfather of this whole community. Shout out Scars, rest in peace Scars. I would say shout out Bloodhounds too, because you know that was a big inspo to everyone. Just shout out this whole community, bro. Doesn't matter who you are. Just shout
There's
out.
a weird inspo that I have that like probably like you don't even like that's like you don't know about, but I gotta shout him out though. Xavier So Based. That's the go right there.
Oh yeah,
That's
shout
the
out
go right
Zay.
there. That's the go
Oh,
right
good.
there. Yup. It's probably everyone.
Oh, and shout out Lucy, and Static. Shout out Lucy and Static. And that's really it for me. I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
Quantic.
think I was here. Yeah, he's gone. But
So
that's
is
all
that
I
it
had.
for this interview? This little interview?
Yeah, I'll probably wrap it up there. Appreciate you for coming on and telling your stories.
I hope that bro, I hope that like, Carl, I was gonna ask you, do you think, cause like, do you think people are gonna think that like, cause like most people like when they hear me, they think I'm white. Do you think that like, remember like the chicken joke we were making in the beginning? Do you think they're gonna think I'm racist? Cause they don't know that I can do that.
You're showing your face and shit. You'll be fine.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's pretty
How long has
apparent.
it been? How long
It's
have
been like
you been?
it's been an hour, 20 minutes.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, you can. Just a reminder, Virus, please cut out when my mom walked in. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
I got
don't
it.
want